Here we are again. The Spanish Fly Invasion of Bikini Bottom. Chapters 4 and 5. Here we are again. I mean, I knew this was coming, but I thought I wasn't going to have to touch this bloody shit until the next season. But no. I knew that the creator was going to get pissy about the last episode. So, she wanted to make sure that today's episode had substance to it. So, here we are, reading chapters 4 and 5 of the Spanish Fly Invasion of Bikini Bottom. I was spared chapters 2 and 3 because of Meg. I was so grateful about it. Oh, so grateful that I scared the crap out of her and used the Vulcan pinch on her just to be a bloody ass. Such a great way of showing my thanks. Well, this time I will be reading chapters 4 and 5. You already know who the author is, Eurocat. This story is 7 chapters long altogether, so after this episode there will be a final part. Who knows when that's coming? That'll probably be the next season. So I'll need to make sure that I keep my mouth shut and not get sassy with the creator, because if I do, she might just make me read the rest of it next time, and I'd rather not. I'd rather not do 2 episodes in a row of Spanish Fly Invasion. So let's get this bloody shit over with. Chapter 4. Going Down. I'll try to do the voice acting. You know, I rewatched Meg's reading of the last part, so I think I have it right. Let's get started. Pale sighed and exclaimed, "Finally! This felt like forever. Just like the instructions that Daddy thought me for this job." Then she saw Octavius Rex, or how she preferred to call him, Octavius X. Pale said, "What are you doing here?" Octavius exhaled. "I am your client, Pearl." Don't ask what that voice is. I don't know if he sounds like that, but I digress. Pearl's adrenaline skyrocketed. "No way, buddy. I may have to be a whore at this job, but first and foremost, I'm a bitch." "What's the difference?" asked Octavius. Pale explained. "A whore has sex with everyone. A bitch, on the other hand, has sex with everyone. But you." "That's it. You're gonna drop on your knees and let me play your teeth with my dong, like they're a xylophone." "Not even in fanfiction form." "Want to know which part of my muscular body cares about your opinion, dear?" said Octavius smugly. Pell immediately knew the answer. "The one who should be nicknamed Speedy due to how quick it gets tired." "Now I've had it," raged Octavius X, hitting the nearby table with erotic candles with his fist. Sadly for him, it caused it to fall over, spilling hot boiling steamed wax all over his crotch and panties. "Ouch!" I think you should be crying out more than just a simple ouch for that. X cried, seeing the skin peel off and felling down to ground like an overripe banana. Pale didn't hesitate. She stood up, put her legs in a ladder position, and releasing her love glue. The soothing gel wasn't aloe vera, but it's close enough. "Thank you," said the client gratefully. "You're welcome," replied Pale. "You're welcome. You're welcome." "Where did you learn to do that?" asked Spongy. "My doctor told me that women should pee while standing after every session to prevent bladder infection." Just as she said that, Rex touched her bush, which was just as neglected as the never-trimmed front lawns of Siberia. How dare you? So you want me to hop on your pecker, huh? Take this. Pearl did just that, jumping in the air, spread her legs flat, and used the power of gravity to land of her ex. She intentionally missed his man-pole and instead crushed his jewels like military boots who stepped on juicy beetle larvae. Rex wanted to get punished, but not in that way.
"I'll complain to your manager for this,"
cried X. That's my daddy, you moron. Get lost. And X did go, like a defeated wolf with his tail between his legs, since that's all what's left down there. He, however, swore that he'll get revenge by writing the most brutal Yelp review ever since Elizabeth Warren gave a 1-star rating to Ancestry.com. SpongeBob was amazed at what he just witnessed. He learned that at this job you had to be prepared for everything and also be as versatile as Debbie Harry is vocally. Pearl then proceeded to clients waiting in the rooms. SpongeBob could peek. It was allowed for personnel. SpongeBob was amazed at Pearl's proficiency, can't speak today, at keeping her balance while riding on the men's stick. The men's stick. Hardly a surprise though. It's just one of the few abilities you get if you're a pro at doing 50-50 and bonus of the rail. He then remembered he had to go down to do his job or Mr. Krabby Pimp will do anal genocide on him. SpongeBob went a floor deeper and entered Dickwad. Get lost, you cretin. Okay, that was awful. Get lost, you cretin. Okay, that's somewhat better. Shouted Dickwad, still feeling abhorrent over the violation that happens earlier to him. That such a thing happened by the mouth of a sponge is also an insult due to his profession. In his rage, he quickly pulled a whip and snapped SpongeBob's attire. He didn't need that anyway. Clothes were created by the textile industry to take away your money. He then tried to turn the lights on the sponge with a chonker, but that didn't help. Sponges breathe through the entire body. The frustration of the cuttlefish got worse, so he grabbed the biggest and heaviest spanking paddle he possessed and hit on the sponge boobs so hard that he broke through the floor and ended up one floor beneath. Just like in a Tom and Jerry cartoon. SpongeBob felt ditzy due to the slight skull concussion, but he noticed that something is very, very wrong. Where am I? He questioned. You're in the toy box room, said a high-pitched voice. The whole room was all of the sudden, full of giggles, laughter, and cackles. SpongeBob still saw everything foggy due to sticky eyelashes. He then felt arse anal violation, which brought back long-buried, rezombified memories of his grandma's pegging sessions while she babysitted him. SpongeBob was partly snapping out and noticing that the room was full of sentient sex toys. Clock rings, vibrators, flesh flights. What the hell is a flesh flight? Geisha balls, dildos, plugs, as well as several other strange objects SpongeBob has never seen before. Look who decided to come inside without consent, said the toys. That's both rude and illegal. It was an accident, I swear, whimpered SpongeBob, who scarcely hopes that this was all just a delusion, but the cables that tied his limbs to the floor felt too real to be acid trip. That's what they all say, but the tables have now turned. Sick on him, fellas, said the huge vibrator. and so the toys entered the many sponges' holes, then glided surprisingly easily through. Then SpongeBob realized that his many holes mutated into partially functioning vaginas. The long-term chemical exposure finally showed side effects. If only SpongeBob listened to America's most trusted news outlet, InfoWars. He then noticed that strange, unbelievable things happened on his back. The toys were popping out of the holes and hiding again, and huge smacks happened. The toys played dildo sponge whack-a-mole. This was the ultimate insult to SpongeBob. Nobody will misuse his body for such cheap fun. SpongeBob's psychedelic memory scars burst open. He always was punished by Grandma when something he did was wrong. When SpongeBob's let the toilet seat open, what did he get? Free wet willies. When Spunk Bob ate the cotton candy behind the drywall, what did Grandma do? Spank him cheeks. When SpongeBob decided or learned the important life lesson of that twisting your cat's neck for more than 270 degrees makes it stop working. First off, cats can't live in the ocean, and secondly, what the fuck? What did Grandma Sponge do? Made him rub her nipples. It was always the same, till one day he snapped, and the current situation made him snap again. He ripped the cables out of his wrists and pushed the toys from his bosoms. He went full rage, took off his stilettos and started smashing every appliance like body-positive activists do with their arch nemesis scales. One thing for certain, no grass will ever sprout from the places where SpongeBob high heels stood. Africa paprika. The denomination of the electronics cause toxic cancerous gases, which results short brain circuit to those who exhaled then, causing SpongeBob to trip like a drug smuggler's who digested condoms break. When he was once again woke, he saw what he did. The vibrators and electro devices were not alive. It was the nematodes who were carrying them. Now they were slapped silly forever, and SpongeBob quickly ran to the floor beneath to finally get to where he should have gotten some word pages earlier, had he followed his boss's order. There he opened the door. He immediately saw familiar faces. There was Sandy and Patrick, Miss Shell, Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy, King Neptune, but there was also a blonde-haired lassie named Donna. "Finally you arrived," they said. "We've been waiting here for a while now, so let the game of luck begin." It's a random voice, I know. "What game?" asked SpongeBob. You don't know what your new job is? Puff Mama came out this instant and expel yourself," said Donna. Okay. The fat lady quickly came, dressed in a way too tight corset, a black old-fashioned hat to the side and a whip in her hands. Her cleavages were almost completely showed. Her black skirt was quite short and covered with violety purple laces. She had fishnet as stocking and arm warmers. Her hands covered with black leather gloves, and she also wore such foot attire that only creatures of the night use. "What is it?" she moaned. She then looks at the sponge. "Oh, come now, you're not only late, but you're also missing your work attire, apart from your footwear. Here, take my spare uniform." "Hey, Puff Mama, your helper here doesn't even know what he's supposed to be doing," complained Donna. "That's no problem. It's a job that every idiot could make. That's why Boss picked SpongeBob for it," answered Puff Mama. "Mr. Krabby Pig really think I have the right qualifications for this?" blushed the sponge. The less Tim he fell his proud was when he got the participation award from the Special Olympics. Of course you do. Everyone can do tis, said Puff Mama in a seemingly complimentary way. Now come here. I'll tell you what you have to do here. The rest of you can enter in a few moments. The long wait might be beneficial. Time is crucial. At games of luck. After that, Puff closed the door and laughed maniacally. Okay, now this is how it goes. I am the presenter, you are the helper. Got it?
Sure do, Puff Mama.
Now, you see that giant circular thing with those pillory-looking things? SpongeBob nodded. You see that harpoon gun-looking thing with that metal dong sticking out behind each pillory? Under each one of them is a number. You will stand there at the control panel. You click the big green button for starting the machine. Then click of the number of the participants beneath. After that, click the orange bottom to make the magic happen. Then we'll get what we want. Click the red button, and after that, we will rinse and repeat. Got it?
Yes, but how is anyone of them going to win?
Asked the SpongeBob naively. Ha 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 ha! Win? Don't be stupid. The only winners here are you, me, and old Krabs. That's the whole point of games like this. People who think they can win something here probably also believe that Scientology doesn't care about money. Now make sure you don't say anything about what we just talked about, and always remember the first rule of Hollywood. We got to have money. SpongeBob felt that this is wrong, but he also had plenty of times Mr. Krabs saying the old capitalist thing,
The money is always right.
Well, Meg, I think it's safe to say that my Mr. Krabs impersonation is far worse than yours.
It's my job, so I'll be quiet.
Good boy.
Now move it or I'm going to break off my foot in your ass!
Puff opened the door and invited in the candidates. So, you guys want to win the jackpot, I hear. No, I'm sorry. It's supposed to be Sandy.
We sure do, ma'am.
God, that was awful, said Sandy, enjoying joyfully with a twang. Good. The rules are very simple. Just stick your head and arms in those things and wait till you can no longer move. Then the real game begins. If you don't give up till the end, you win. The group walked into the giant circle platform and willingly locked themselves up. Puff Mama stood in the middle. All of a sudden, the platform started slowly spinning. Let's play a little game of roulette. The stakes are the remaining fractions of your dignity. Sandy started yelling, Hold your horses! What is this bullshit? I ain't got time for this spearminty garbage. I came here to get Manny. This is part of the game. There are 8 slots and there are 7 of you. Each round one of the anal punishers gets triggered, and it doesn't stop till the unlucky bastard in front of it says their darkest secret. If the punisher of the empty slot charges, everyone remaining wins. If the last slot remaining is the empty slot, the house wins. Sounds fair, doesn't it? Explained Puff Mama. Let the roulette begin. Let's fuck you over fair and square. The first platform began rolling, and then it stopped. The number which was selected was number 7. The one that belonged to Miss Shell. The anal punisher immediately sprung and performed the sweet cougar behind of the old dame. I'm not sure how her voice is going to be, so I'm just going to make up a voice.
Holy dandruff in a chicken factory! My pelvis is getting an industrial revolution!
She yelled like a buffalo on her period. Tell us your darkest, most embarrassing secret, said Puff while pushing a voice recorder into the old mare's face.
I like to suck snogs covered in Vegemite,
said the wrinkled hot piece of ass. Sweet Jesus, people actually willingly put that shit on their mouths? Wondered Puff. Now that's nasty. There's nothing like starting the morning with some yeast on your tongue, said Donna, remembering all the time she read her favorite naughty magazines. We'll keep this secret at the company as long as you pay your monthly fee. Now get lost, told Puff. Miss Shell limped off like a Middle Eastern goat. What? The next round started immediately. Will one of the remaining 6 get effed over, or will they share the jackpot? The platform stopped and number 3 was selected. Number 3. Number stupid. The massive metal song raptured through the mermaid men's thongs, getting logged deep inside, soaking his kidney and gallbladder liquid gas.
Holy shit, I haven't been in such pain ever since that Ray bowling accident. Barnacle boy, pull this shit out again. I can't move, you old fart, and it's taking part where your idea. And taking part here was your idea. If you didn't throw your entire wallet at that stripper, we wouldn't be here. Spit on it. My ass is on fire, yelled the old man. I'm no Houdini, and spitting on it like fighting pneumonia. I'm not saying it right all well. With a cup of tea, ain't gonna do shit,
said the sexually flustered sidekick. Give up, mermaid man. This boy won't stop until you quit and spill the blackmail material, laughed Puff maniacally.
Fine, I quit. I love it when people pull tapeworms out of my ass. Now stop hurting my babies,
yelled the defeated superhero, and the ass combustion stopped. Jesus, to think that... Okay, this is Mrs. Puff speaking. I had to pause for a moment to make sure because for some reason the bloody writer or Yocat here is not distinguishing who the bloody hell is talking, so it's a bloody guessing game each time. Jesus, to think that people put their safety into your hands. Anyway, next round. Who next will get fucked over fair and square? Man, this chapter's bloody long. This time it was number 1's turn, where no otter but King Neptune was present. The metal dong quickly ripped through his anal virginity, dividing it like Suez Canal. He tried his best to remain proud and chest out, cause, like the old Russian saying goes, man who covers nipple is woman too. Ugh, muttered the god, and quickly cast his magically godly power on the device. However, due to not being able to concentrate, due to having a hard-on, due to horny water, due to drug lords dumping waste above, due to wanting to escape prison, due to the police being dicks, due to people wanting to have a good time, due to nature having a good time, due to gods creating nature this way. Can you bloody get on with it? Due to having a sixth sense of humor, thank you, he ended up causing the device to accelerate and going overdrives, literally tearing his asshole a new one. But his rectum was still intact for the most part, and that's what matters for now. The pain, however, was too much, so Neptune spilled out,
I like dressing up in Hello Kitty during intercourse.
Ha! Now, that would be quite the royal scandal if it becomes public. I hope you understand that it will take a lot every month for this secret to remain a secret. The next round started, and number 5 got schemed. It was Donna. She was tough, but not butch enough. The anal panic quickly put her to rest. She revealed her secret. I like covering pussies with mayonnaise and watch them lick themselves clean. Everyone looked at her perplexed. Donna justified herself. What? They like it, otherwise they wouldn't purr. Puff Mama said, You need help, sister. The next turn starts, and his time, it was number 4's turn, and the Punisher launched into furry Texan butt checks.
Holy hillbilly on a rattlesnake. I'm not that easy, Puff. I'm from the South. Daddy already gave me worse punishments when I was 5.
I don't know who this person's supposed to be, so I'm going to assume it's a boy. This is only the warm-up phase, silly. SpongeBob, turn the level. Looks like this cookie is slightly tougher. The rules were followed and the device started smashing. Oh, it's supposed to be Sandy. Oops. I mean, at least I got the southern accent right. Insides together like chewing gum. Arr! She moaned. But didn't Sandy already have a 10? I don't get it. She tried to use anal karate moves, but those didn't help. This was even worse than that time her mother got wasted on Daddy's liquor, drove her pie to school, and put her kids in the oven. Shandy finally threw the towel and confessed a long-kept secret. Well, I declare, I used to work under the name Holden Maddock in Texas. I had to quit the job because once my entire family and livestock got syphilis because of my activities. On that day, Daddy kicked me out of his truck, and since then I am banned from the sweet tea zone till I show an ultimate sacrifice of patriotism. That's why I moved here. Bikini Bottom was indeed the only wacky alternative, and as the old Texan saying goes, if you all want to live in pain, you better move to Maine. Finally, 2 more to go. Ha ha! Let's fuck you over fair and square, said Puff. Shortly after that, number 6 was chosen. The number of the old fuckboy. The moment he get penetrated, he bit so hard on his teeth that he smashed them.
Are you okay? Asked Mermaid Man.
I feel wonderful. Always wanted to have a smile as pretty as that of the Duchess of Cornwall, said the boy sarcastically. It goes well together with that Prince Charles-like nose of yours, complimented Mermaid Man, and I completely botched their voices. Sorry, whatever. As the dong went deeper, it pushed Boy's bladder, causing his diaper to get wet. Ugh! Why did you convince me to do this? Fuck this! Mermaid Man has a Man Ray Boy pillow!
How could you?
Gasped Mermaid Man. Puff looked surprising. Wow! Now that's way funnier than the first secret, he said. I guess I can make an exception for you then, but you still lost, Boy. Mermaid Man was furious.
Now you've done it. I'll let the whole world know of that Judge Judy tattoo you have between your sack.
The old man bags jumped at each other, slapping each other for 10 seconds, then realized they have arthritis and began to recite the 13 bad words over and over. Puff Mama wasn't bothered. Okay, time to screw over the last one who remains. Oh, it's Patrick. Patrick was, despite all that happened, cool as a cucumber. He smoked lots of weed and took morphine before he took part. He knew that he'd be busted if people noticed them dilate a pupil, so he took heroin to counter the effect. Boy shouted, "You're going to lose the last round, Puff!" Puff smirked. What's going on here? What's with the arrows? What's going on with the arrows? I mean, I think this is deliberate, but it's just distracting. Sandy carefully listened to this. She knew something wasn't right from this. Corruption and pussies are the same. One slip of the tongue and you're in deep shit. Sandy was even more determined than a horsefly. Yes, she was degenerated as a TMZ reporter to uncover the naked truth. I know a cheetah when I see one. That's part of my southern intuition. My soon-to-be wife-beater is prepared for this. I made sure. Let's fuck you over fair and square, shouted Puff for the last round. And the roulade begins. The disc cages started to spin. It was rather a blank shot or Patrick's poo-hoo. And no one's surprise, the Punisher stopped directly before Patrick. It erupted, penetrating Patrick's shorts and tampons, but it stopped right there. Patrick had literal iron bones from doing various butt exorcisms, and the anal destructor was no match for them. It crumbled like Paris Hilton singing, acting, and porn careers. What? Gasped Puff while half fainting at shock. Fair and square, you said? Your torture device is broken and Patrick didn't give up. I guess you and your sponge buddy got fucked over fair and square in the final round. Now give us this place, you two-faced cheater, shouted Donna while everyone took off the platinum dongs and cornered Puff and SpongeBob. You can't prove anything, yelled Puff. Okay, I'm reading ahead a little bit to see who's bloody speaking here. This is Donna. Then what's that instruction written on SpongeBob's control panel? Prick any number, just not the empty slots. Sounds like the evidence to me, said Donna. Sandy followed up. You're fake news, Puff, hissing like a sexually frustrated diamondback. Puff started to sweat like never washed feet in plastic bags. SpongeBob, you idiot! She screamed. Okay, I'm just going to say this normally because supposedly everyone's speaking here. When we're done with you, the days of puffing will be forever gone, said everyone apart from Sandy and Patrick Pornstash, who took care of their invertebrated friend. Sandy hasn't felt this betrayed since she found out that Rednecks was actually from Sweden. Why, you two-time and good-for-nothing Nuda-Hool-filled fruity fly chicken-like waterboarding smuggling blue lipstick-wearing backstabbing Yankee Doodle head, how dare you do this to us? The only two people who don't treat you like the mental butt-fuck you are, said Sandy in a concerned voice. How is that concerned? My job forced me to this. Capitalism corrupts the soul. Explained knew this wouldn't end well. He did what the people around him demanded him to do and was obedient puppet. Now that those people blame for it all, he now knows how Lady Jane must have felt. Patrick condoled SpongeBob.
Don't worry, I would have done the same. Having a job that sucks is way better than getting blowjobs from a prostitute with buck teeth.
You forgive me? Asked Sponge. Sure do, but first we'll make sure we're even, said Sandy and Patrick with a grin. They forced SpongeBob to penetrate Patrick's most disgusting hole. It was hairy, it was crusty, it was slimy, it was fuzzy, and worse than radioactive waste in SpongeBob's entire tongue with...
And SpongeBob's entire tongue was in it. Forced to scratch.
Forced to scratch all the cancers. Clean that out.
SpongeBob, Patrick has never cleaned it.
His belly button before. Oh my god. In the meantime,
Puff's got the ass slaping of her life, causing her behind to be blacker than all of Congo. All of a sudden, the electricity went off and the whole building became as black as Puff's ass. Come upstairs was heard, and everyone rushed up except for Patrick, who couldn't hear because it was too dark. God help me. Now we have to do another chapter. I have a feeling this is going to be a long episode because that... Okay, well, it looks like this chapter is not as long, thank God. Okay, let's... right. Chapter 5, Old Man's Blues. Everyone came to the upper floor of the sodomy building, since that one had at least some light penetrating through the cum-covered windows. No one was sure what was happening, but then the TV in the room turned on and strange static appeared.
Oh, goody! I hope somebody wants to play a game with us,
said an excited, demented old blobfish lady. The static started to clear, and one could see that it was one of the many Old Man Jenkins. He looked as pissed as Shia LaBeouf on a good day. I'm just going to do a random old man voice for this.
You filthy scum! I knew that this was going to happen one day. I had a vision of everything, and I knew I had to end this heathen madness.
Just as the grumpy old fart said that, a jar of lube flew right at the live feed. Okay, so this is a random starfish who's supposedly related to Patrick, so...
Now listen to me, you prehistoric wrinkled stinkfish. I came here to have some fun, not to listen to some boring lectures. Now get off the TV, because I want to watch episode 5 of Hammer Morta, the animation of stimulation, said a starfish. Must have been one of Patrick's relatives. Jenkins started fuming.
Anime? This is even worse than I imagined. Two abominations combined. I always said that 2 boons weren't enough.
The starfish didn't care and went to the TV, completely encoring Jenkins, who got even angry.
Hey, I'm talking right now. I need to teach you some manners.
The starfish was just about to switch the channel and insert a DVD when a laser ray pooped out of the TV. It shot right through the CD, fusing with it, causing rainbow polygon explosion reflections to pierce the left eye of the starfish. He fell down but was still exposed to the ray. He couldn't stand up but could raise his penis to try to switch off the TV. The starfish was raising his penis, and with determination it moved towards the power button. The more it came towards the center of the light, the more it hit, and then this man limb split in half, causing the starfish to explode into many meaty pieces, one of them hitting the laser gun, causing it to fall apart. Okay, I'm assuming the old man Jenkins is supposed to be speaking here.
Darnation, I knew I shouldn't have invested in modern technology, but at least you filth are now paying the attention to me. My destiny is to save this planet from complete chaos. Back then, when I was building this place in my youth, I made sure that it doesn't look like a lobster trap, but it also does the same job if I want it to. It was meant to prevent the demented from leaving. However, on a bad drinking night, my old friend, the Green Fairy, showed up and showed me these horrible visions of the town getting possessed by something evil. I always hoped that this day wouldn't come true, but it did. That's as clear as tap water in Flint, Michigan.
The whole crowd shouted, "You darn party pooper limp dick, just because you couldn't only use your willy to pay for the last 50 years doesn't mean we should also have to live in celibacy for the rest of our lives." The old man's face turned to the color of beetroot soup, a popular Polish dessert which looks just like the monthly visitor of a woman. Everyone knew why this old man was constantly grumpy. He lost one of his testicles in the European rodeo accident in his early 20s, and the other one stopped functioning shortly after due to constant loneliness and depression for their lost twin. A normal penis is like a Rubik's Cube. The more you play with it, the harder it gets. But this was not the case with Jenkins. Not even Viagra succeeded in making him hard, since old man Jenkins' body hasn't been able to produce testosterone for decades. The times when young man Jenkins was a backstreet guy chasing uptown girls were long gone. Now he's seen that the world's been burning since the globe's been turning. "You want us to be as miserable as you? Forget it," shouted the crowd. The old man was fuming. Had he not had arthritis, he would single-handedly strangle everyone there.
Shut up, shut up, shut up. I have suffered enough through my life, but I'm glad this fate chose me, since it makes me immune to whatever has happened to you. Now get ready for your last quickies, because in 30 minutes, I'll be releasing toxic cyanide into this place, which will kill you instantly. May heaven have mercy on your souls, because I certainly won't.
This gave everyone a slight moment of realization and made sex the second most important priority.
After I'm done with you, I'll make sure to punish those pesky earthwalkers above. Their constant pollution is surely the cause of this. I bet they are using that awful devil weed marijuana. They probably think it's hilarious to subject us to those terrible demonic substances. Well, I have a surprise for them. All those years I spent as a hermit, I used my rage to build launchers for dirty bombs, and I'm planning to make them then rain all over North America, except for the White House. That one is right now the only place that doesn't need salt to be rubbed in the wound. Don't worry, townfish of Bikini Bottom. When that happens, you'll be all swimming upside down.
He laughed as dramatic Dr. Evil and Jessica Fletcher music played while the TV turned off. This would indeed be a disaster, the biggest natural catastrophe since 4 kids got their hands on One Piece. What did I just read? Okay. Okay then. All right. I think that killed my brain. I think that killed my brain. This story just got very bizarre. I mean, chapter 4 just seemed to go on forever, and it was hard to read. I mean, I know that Eurocat deliberately put a bunch of typos and stuff in here to be annoying. I think the story was originally written with the intention of Meg reading it. Well, yeah. Glad she didn't read these 2 chapters. She probably would have exploded by the end of it. I think I'm still recovering from the Velma and Scooby fanfic that all this really did, aside from give me a headache, was just confuse me. I mean, there was that really nasty bit at the end of chapter 4 that was... Ugh. So there's 2 more chapters of the Spanish Fly Invasion to go. Not looking forward to reading those. And hopefully that won't be for a while. I think I learned my lesson. So hopefully the next episode will be of a decent story, or at least one that's a little bit more tolerable than whatever the hell this was. Well, thank you all for watching today's episode of FanFic Critic. If you liked it, please be sure to leave a like and leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next episode. Until then, cheerio.